Extracts from Fighting for Faith and Nation, Dialogues with Sikh Militants. By Cynthia Kepply Mahmood. One Khalistani militant drew directly on Sikh history, which minimizes individual bodily pain in favor of what the victory over that pain can accomplish, as he suffered excruciating tortures at the hands of Punjab police. In the hot, still back room of a Gurudwara, he showed me the scars of this torture permanently inscribed on the flesh of his torso. The scars of the mind exhibited only by a certain hardness around the mouth. In our daily prayers we remember all our Sikh martyrs during the Mughal period, those who went through terrible hardships. They were cut to pieces, made to survive on a small loaf of bread, and they withstood all those tortures. I used to think, what type of people were they, and while I was in the movement, there was sometimes a little thought in the back of my mind that if the time came, would I be able to behave as those brave Sikhs, my ancestors did? But finally when I went through it, it was not me but those other Sikhs who were sustaining that. It seemed they were taking the pain with me. I felt then the satisfaction of knowing that with Guru's grace, I was able to pass the test of being a Sikh. This is required of a Sikh, that a Sikh should withstand everything. What is of the body is anyway just elements, and with death everything goes back. But the spirit is something immortal, and if this spirit is filled with the love of Guru, then that gives all the courage and strength. Me and my friends, we used to sit together and laugh a lot at how the Guru has made us mortals, to be in the spirit of those immortal saints and martyrs, at how we lived up to this and passed the test of our generation courageously. The interpretation of Sikhs like this one of the torture experience, subverts the overriding aim of torture, which is the total degradation of the victim. The Sikh understanding of physical suffering, almost welcomed as a test of their spiritual commitment, turns every act of torture into a kind of victory. A younger interlocutor described his awakening to the power of Guru, through the model of a fellow Sikh sufferer. I record his story in some detail here, as it instructively points to the role of state persecution in the nurturing of militancy, as well as in itself prompting a religious awakening. When the attack on the Golden Temple occurred in 1984, I was just a student in school, only 15 years old. But we got together at school, about 500 of us, and started protesting. There was at that time a Sikh Students' Federation, and one member of that federation, Kuldeep Singh Tellam, got arrested. He was later killed by the government. We protested against that arrest. Police came to our protest and started shooting at everybody, and a few people got wounded. Later the Federation members who were in hiding, came to our school and convened a meeting. We started a school branch of the Sikh Students' Federation, and we decided to hold a program called In Memory of the Martyrs of Khalistan. It was actually very dangerous, but I wasn't afraid. I didn't know then how they tortured, how they killed people. But let me tell you the truth. I actually wanted to go to jail to see if it was really as bad as people said. Anyway, I eventually got arrested along with other Federation members. I was arrested many times in the next 4 years. Finally in 1988, they arrested me once again and said, "We'll kill you if you don't stop your activities." I said, "I'm not doing anything wrong, not killing anybody. I don't have anything to do with violence." But they said, "We will kill you anyway." Then I went into hiding at my cousin's house. I knew that if they caught me, they would torture me and kill me. My friend got arrested at his college, Khalsa College in Jalandhar, and they tortured and killed him. Another friend was in custody at an interrogation center, and I knew he was being tortured. I wondered whether he would tell about me under interrogation. My whole family got arrested, my sister, sister's husband, my father, my mother, and my brother. They arrested all of them because I wasn't at home. "Where is he?" they asked my mom. "We don't know," she said. "He went off to college and he didn't come back." She was afraid that if they found me, they would kill me. She said, "You can do with us whatever you want, but we don't know where he is." The officer told her, We will kill all of you because your son is a terrorist. They searched the house for weapons, but we never kept anything like that. All they found were Federation receipts. Then they went to my mother's sister's house. They held the whole family at gunpoint. They prodded my brother with the gun and then he said, "Yes, I know where he is." He told my mother, "They will kill us all. Just tell them where he is." So they caught me, where I was sleeping with my cousins. My mom, my sister, and my dad were released. But they kept me, my brother, my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, and my two cousins. They kept all of us because we were young. They want to finish off the 14 to 35 age group. But they took me to one side of the police station and said to the others, "He's a killer. We'll deal with him separately." Then they took my clothes off and I was without anything. "Where are your senior party members, where is your president?" they asked. At that time it was Gurjit Singh. There were two other members in hiding, Nirmaljit Singh Nima, and Kanwaljit Singh Sultanwind, who were later killed in a fake encounter. The police were asking me about them. They also asked about a police officer who was killed in our area. "Who did that?" "You did that, didn't you?" they said. But I said, "No, I didn't." They bound my arms behind my back, handcuffed, and hung me upside down from the ceiling. It's called the airplane. Then they were hitting me and hitting me. It was very hard for me. I was just crying and crying. They were saying, "Just tell us, we will release you." But I couldn't do that. If I didn't know about that, how could I say anything? Then they put me down on the floor. They have a big heavy roller and they put it on my thighs. One police officer stood on one side and the other on the other side, and they rolled it across my thighs over and over. It was very painful. I was afraid. I thought they would kill me. But I thought if I say other Federation members' names they would kill me anyway. If they wanted to kill me, they would. That was all there was to it. Then the senior superintendent of police came over and asked how come the police were doing so much violence to me. They said, "We arrested him, but he's not saying anything." "Bring him to the main interrogation center then," the superintendent said. On the way over the police kept saying to me, "We will kill you over here. We will say that somebody tried to help you escape, and that we had to shoot and kill you." They were trying to make me afraid, but I was no longer afraid. I thought, well, if they want to kill me there is nothing I can do. I knew I was not a criminal. As I was getting out of the van at the Criminal Investigation Agency Center, they beat me up. Many of them were drunk. Then the superintendent of that center came out, and when I saw who it was, I thought I would surely be killed. That guy has killed so many people. We called him the Butcher. When I got inside, they caught me by my arms and legs and put me down on the floor. I was feeling really bad at that time. They were joking around. "Just tell us. How do you want to be tortured?" They thought they were having fun. Then they caught me on my right leg and my left leg, and spread them wide, wide like this. And they were hitting me at the same time. "We killed your friends and they told us about you," they were saying. Then they got electric shocks and gave me shocks on the private parts of my body. They shocked me and shocked me. They said, "We will finish you. Now you can't be married, you can't produce any more terrorists." A few of them seemed to be getting tired, so they said, "Well, he doesn't want to say anything, so let's just kill him." But the inspector said, "No, we'll do it tomorrow. I still have something to ask him." There was another guy who had gotten killed at that interrogation center, and he had had his flesh torn out with a long spear. They showed me that spear and I got really afraid. But then I thought again, there is nothing I can do. If they want to kill me, they will. So I forgot everything and everybody. I just got ready to die. Beating me and beating me, this continued on and on. I couldn't feel anything on most of my body anymore. But they tried to find out where I still felt pain, and then they would hit me there. Then the president of our whole federation was dragged out. He was at the same interrogation center. They started to beat him up and said, "Here is your partner in this, we will beat him up too." He was a doctor. They were beating him up very badly, just like you beat Paddy in the fields. They were saying things to him but I didn't listen. I was just preparing myself to die. Then they told me that he would be killed that night. He heard that, too, but as I watched him I saw that he wasn't saying anything to them. He was just saying Waheguru again and again. Waheguru, he would say, you take care of me. Waheguru, Waheguru. When I saw this I thought, if he doesn't say anything how can I say anything? I got strength from him. He knew he was going to die and he just turned to Guru. I said, Waheguru, Waheguru, and I got calm. They were taking him out and he turned and said, God will take care of you. There's a place in heaven for us because we are dying for truth. Don't be afraid. By God's grace I got released. From then on, I relied on the Guru. Just what being a saint soldier means is expressed in the following comment about Khalistanis. I can tell you this not only about myself and my companions, but about all the militants I know. We are very devout people. We wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning, bathe, and pray for hours and hours. We pray before we go on a mission, that the mission should be successful. When we come back and it has been accomplished, we thank the Guru for that. Our only mission in life is to uphold the value of Dharma, righteousness. People who are fighting for that, upholding the loftiest ideals, how can they do wrong? When they go off to a mission they are not excited or nervous at all. They are totally at peace. They say their prayers, standing before Guru Granth Sahib, and asking strength for what they want to do. The way they take out their weapons and ready their weapons, it is close to worship. Then when they come back, the first thing they do is lie prostrate before Guru Granth Sahib. They thank Guru if the action was successful. If not, then they pray and say, Guru, thank you for keeping us alive today, and please give us the strength so that next time our mission will be successful. They are very devout, full of noble spirit. A major prayer of Guru Gobind Singh, now part of the national anthem of Khalistan, expresses the militant ethos clearly. Lord, these boons of thee I ask. Let me never shun a righteous task. Let me be fearless when I go to battle. Give me faith that victory will be mine. And when comes the time to end my life, let me fall in mighty strife. One militant affiliated with the Khalistan Liberation Force, took a typically universalist view of the Sikh struggle for justice, when he pointed to a portrait of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the ninth Guru, who was said to have been martyred for the right of Hindus to worship freely. That's Guru Tegh Bahadur. His story is so beautiful, because he sacrificed his life for the sake of another religion, for Hindus. At that time they were being persecuted by the Mughals. That's really an inspiration to me. That's why I think Sikhs are in the world, not just for Sikhs alone, but for anybody who needs a Sikh. Honestly, deep in my heart, I feel like our work in this world has to be much bigger than just for ourselves. Some of my friends say that when Khalistan is established, then we'll be able to kick back and relax. But I say no, the work is just getting started. You have your country, but then you need to work on achieving justice in it, and then in the rest of the world. All these wars that are going on today, people are demanding justice at all costs. Bosnia is a clear-cut case. We have to not only be more peaceful in spirit, but we have to be willing to sacrifice our lives. The United Nations doesn't really have any power, because there aren't enough parents willing to sacrifice their sons. It's all just a big hoopla. If there is injustice and somebody in Somalia isn't getting food, the United Nations should be able to take care of it. When Khalistan is established, if I have any say, I will send 500, 1,000, 5,000 Sikhs right away. You don't get peace and justice without sacrifice, and our gurus taught us all about that. One interlocutor noted specifically the impact of Che Guevara on his thinking. I will tell you about my friend, who was always a very polite boy, who never fought with anybody or did anything wrong. He was a good student. After the Golden Temple event he went into the movement. His family got upset, and they were telling him to come home, as he was the only son. But he said, when you used to read in the paper about how brave the other boys were, you used to praise them, but now when it comes to your own house you start crying. I won't come home. Consider me as dead. The first action he got involved in was a very big action, in which 8 police officers at a detective training academy were killed. The first gun he ever shot was an AK-47, in that raid. He and his comrades also pulled off an immense bank robbery, and a lot of the money was in his hands. But he didn't misuse a penny of it. He became in fact very pious and spiritual, as he became more involved in the movement. One time he gave me a book by Che Guevara to read, and that helped me understand what was going on with the militants. I used to wonder how they could survive, how they could succeed. But then I realized that there were other courageous people standing up for the rights of minorities and poor people in other places, too, and sometimes they managed to achieve those. The way my brave friend finally died, it was horrible. When his body was found, he had no teeth, no nails on his hands and feet, and his chest was entirely blackened. That was how he died. He was a skinny guy, only about 120 pounds, although he was 6 feet tall. But he had a lot of conviction. He died with his convictions.